Have you ever wondered how we can find signs of God in life's darkest moments? Or marveled at a family's ability not just to survive, but to thrive after facing unimaginable tragedy? These questions are at the forefront of our minds when we meet such a family. So settle in and prepare for an emotional, inspiring, and life-altering experience. We're about to dive into the pages of the Levitt family's extraordinary story, a tale that proves the resilience of the human spirit and the unwavering strength of faith. Introducing Jenny and Caleb, who will be your guides on this remarkable journey. They'll share a story that challenges conventions and inspires all who hear it.
All right, so welcome back. I'm Jenny. This is Caleb. And we are sharing some more about our family's story, walking through the most traumatic thing and the thing that no parent wants to hear, that their child has died. But also, I would venture one of the hardest things that you've ever had to go through, losing a sibling. And we've talked about, you and I have talked about this, that you don't know what you don't know until you need it. And we didn't know until we experienced grief that there's not really a whole lot out there for siblings that have lost a sibling, especially in a traumatic way. There's not a lot of resources out there.
Well, I would say that one of the major things that you don't realize, so I think we have already gone over this, that I have a tendency to express myself with anger sometimes, sarcasm a lot, and so it's always been a part of me. I'm still working on sometimes reeling that back in, but Jacob was such a compliment, I think, in the way that you are the dad.
He was very laid back.
Very laid back. He didn't let a lot of stuff get to him, and he was able to communicate, I think, more clearly because he was more level-headed. I have grown
in
the last 8 years,
filter is engaged a lot more now.
A lot more now. Yeah. But whenever Jacob passed, I felt like a part of me was gone, and that almost like I didn't know how to function in some situations because I just didn't know, because he would be the one, even though he was younger than me. He would be the one kind of be like, hey, you said that to her. Probably wasn't the best. You might want to rethink that next time. And so I'd be like, yeah, whatever, shut up. But then, next time I would try to do a little bit better. But then just that kind of counterbalance. And that's how we had been for 17 years. So whenever he was gone, it was like literally I felt like a part of me was gone. Like half of me was gone.
I remember you telling me that Jacob even tried to help you see Dad's point of view in some of the times that you guys would butt heads, So.
Sometimes, and that didn't go over well for Jacob. So just the fact that he would keep on doing it just kind of shows you what kind of heart he had. He had the heart of, I would say, redemption, like towards people, and just so gracious. He had his flaws. We all do. Some of them were, very obvious. Some of them were kind of hidden, just like all of ours. But the things that he was good at, he was really good at. And it was just having the heart for people. And sometimes I still struggle with that. I gotta be reminded that I am not better than anyone else. And that God died for all of us, not just me. And not just people that are easy to work with.
Yeah.
That's a major thing to kind of get to. And that at some point we can all be hard to work with and hard to deal with. But so that whole thing. And then anniversaries come up.
Yeah.
So
we talked about
you
Christmas.
guys' anniversaries though came up. And me and Jacob would obviously always either make them something, make them something together, or buy them something together, create something together.
You were the writer, and he was the artist. So sometimes you guys joined forces and did stuff like that for us.
So that first anniversary, it hit me. I don't even know if I even did anything for that.
Our wedding anniversary.
Yes.
Our wedding anniversary is in December. Horrible time to get married. Just a side note for anybody.
But that first one, I don't think I did anything. But even the second one,
I don't think we did anything.
But even the first, I tried to. It was so difficult because it's almost like I was moving on without him, and I was like, I don't want to do this alone for the rest of my life. So, and that was, I think that was the common feeling for me, at least, was all those first year realizing I'm going to be doing this without him the rest of my life. So Thanksgiving or birthdays or the accident or whatever that may be, anniversaries, I'm going to be doing this without him for the rest of my life. So whoever you lost, you're thinking about that. This is just the first of the rest of my life where I'm going to have to shoulder through this day without them being here. And that's such a weight on you. And then my first birthday comes up.
Which was your 21st, so it's considered a big one.
I didn't want to do anything.
That was March of the next year, so 7 months after that?
Yeah, because I didn't want to do anything. Because remember, this was whenever I was still dealing with all that guilt, and I felt like I shouldn't have been the one to survive. So I was like, if I shouldn't have survived, then why should I celebrate my birthday? And every year, even till now, I kind of struggle with that, where I feel guilty, because why would I do something big for my birthday if we're never going to ever celebrate Jacob's again?
And you can say that now, but I remember that leading up to that your dad and I kept asking you, oh, what do you want to do? And you kept and we didn't understand until you finally, remember, if you told both of us, you probably just told me, because I think you were still working through anger at that point. Yeah. But, when you finally said, how can I have a 21st birthday and Jacob will never get one? And I remember being like, oh gosh, like I had not even considered that yet. And just so you know, because this hasn't come up yet, but birthdays are still really hard for your dad and I too. My birthday's in August, so 3 weeks before the accident, I had turned 40, and you guys and your dad did that surprise party for me at the Japanese steakhouse and had some of my good friends there. That's the last time the four of us had a meal together. That's the last video I have of the four of us together, with somebody that was there that videoed it. So my birthday's hard, and then your dad's birthday is September 2nd.
3 days after.
3 days after the accident, and 3 days after the accident, when people would be like, happy birthday, and he's like, I just don't. So birthdays are still hard for us too, and it'll be 8 years this year, and birthdays are still hard. I will say I think they've gotten easier. I wouldn't call them easy, but I think it's not as hard as it was that first year. I honestly I don't remember. Maybe we did something for my birthday that first year. I know we eventually talked you into doing something, but it was just at the local pizza place.
Went to pizza, but it was good, but also the whole time I just felt that guilt, because so many people showed up.
Yeah.
Because
people loved you, and they were glad that you were alive.
Well, that's the thing, is that's how Dad finally got me to sign on to. I mean, I think up until that day, the afternoon of, I was like, I don't want to do this. And so Dad finally basically said that, well, you're going to, because a lot of people to be there for you. It is your first one after the accident where, you should have died. So they want to be there for you, for your life and for your future. So basically, don't be a jerk. So I ended up going, we had a good time, but it was just that guilt that was...
It was a different one. It was different.
I think everybody could feel the undertones of it.
And really, the people that were there were, your really good friends and our good friends of the family. It wasn't like it was just open to, whoever.
Anybody, yeah.
There were people that knew us and loved us and knew us well, but it was still hard. Still really hard.
In our next episode, we'll discuss how Caleb is doing today in his journey through grief. You don't want to miss it, so hit subscribe and ring that notification bell to join us for more of this inspiring story. Thank you for staying with us.